They are literally saying the quiet part out loud now. I've been trying to warn people to position themselves from 2020 to 2026, and now they're just saying it out loud. Larry Fink at the World Economic Forum, he shared that people are losing trust and he called it the elites. So think about that for just a moment. He shared that they know that we are losing trust. And here's the thing in 2026, the great mutation, we're moving out of blind leadership. After February 20th, 2026, we're going to start to see all things in the financial space get exposed. And is it by chance that Donald Trump Jr. just announced, I did a whole video on this on my 3T Warrior Academy YouTube channel, where he says they're having a private meeting. This is what he says. Go watch the video. At Mar-Lago with the smartest and brightest people in technology and finance as they navigate into the new system. Go watch the video. So if you saw a freight train coming, would you just stand there? And I'm just going to share with you exactly what I do. Do your own research. I'm going to, no gatekeeping. I'm going to share with you exactly how I'm positioning myself. But if you understand Ray Dalio's changing world order, it is proven that it's just an economic cycle. This happens over and over and over. It's not different this time. There's falls and rise of superpowers. So think about this. 100 years later, Donald Trump Jr. is having a meeting with the biggest and brightest in finance about the future and how it's going to change in your monetary system. At Mar-Lago, a private meeting. In 1913, the bankers had a private meeting at Jekyll Island. That's when they took it from decentralized to centralized. Before 1907, your labor was traded for real money rooted in reality. After the private meeting in 1913, your labor was traded for debt. He created a monetary debt enslavement system where your labor, your income, which is different than cash flow, is paid in debt. Then they taught you take your income and buy more debt. You should be taking your income and buying cash flow, buying assets that beat inflation, then borrowing to buy more assets that beat inflation and cash flow. That's how wealth is done. But they don't teach us that in school. So the biggest issue is they can fix the monetary system. They can decentralize it. They can give us stimulus checks. But if you don't understand how money actually works, you're going to be in the same position. Because when they lower interest rates and they print money, they devalue your currency, your income, you're laboring for income that gets less valuable every single year. If you don't beat inflation, you become poor. And you go out when they lower interest rates and you monetize more debt, making you even poorer. So you'll never get out of the trap unless you move with the wave of the economic shift. Here's a hint. Gold's at an all-time high. Silver's at an all-time high. Bitcoin has beat every single asset class over the last 10 years. Look at Berkshire. Berkshire is crushing the markets. Why? Why is Berkshire? Because he buys good companies at a fair price and he's not market sensitive. Billionaires use astrology, millionaires use charts. He looks at good companies at a fair price that can weather economic cycles. Are you seeing the hint here, guys? You have to learn the economic cycle. You have to learn how to beat inflation. Not the next best crypto. Not will XRP go to $1,000. How do you beat the cycle? I don't care what you invest in. What I care is you understand how to beat inflation. What I care is you understand the difference between income and cash flow. Income is trading labor for time, and you have to give up more time to get more income, and then you go buy more debt, which just never gets you out of the hole because you can't beat inflation. You become poor every year. And you should be transmuting your income into cash flow. From the cash flow and income outside of debts and non-negotiable, you should be buying assets that beat inflation. With the assets, when you profit, you take some off the table and you build defense protection. Then you leverage, and you only leverage and use debt if you can buy more cash flow or more assets. That's how you get on the right side of the interest quadrant because there's no money in the system. So is it by chance that they're having a private meeting, his words, at Mar-Lago with the best and brightest in finances to bring us into the new system, and now we're going decentralized? All you're seeing is a system being centralized to decentralized, Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical, blind leadership to sovereignty, and decentralization where you become the bank. But nothing will change unless you do. So here's what I do. I invented Capel DR. C is cash flow. Every time I get paid, I buy dividend stocks that create more cash flow. From my outside of my debts and non-negotiables, my income, trading labor for income, and my cash flow, which doesn't require labor. Take both of those outside of debts and non-negotiables. I don't lifestyle creep. I put it into assets. Here are my assets. Do you? XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, World Liberty Financial, Solana, HBAR, and VeChain. That's my top 7 cryptos. I have many others, but I'm going to consolidate in the top 4. I'm going to be lean and mean. It's going to be XRP, Bitcoin, WFI, and Solana. My stock side, American Bitcoin, ABTC, and XXI, which is 21 Capital connected to Cantor, which Howard Lutnick is Commerce Secretary. I'm not price sensitive. When I see red, I love it. I buy more. People keep asking me, well, it keeps going down. I'm buying more. Warren Buffett, baby. Don't be a fool. But do you, boo. So when it goes up, I pull profits. I'm not married to any of these assets. I don't give a shit about tribalism. I pull profits. There's no savior. These cryptos aren't going to save me. Why? Because my job as a man is to protect my family. So every man should have defense. So I pull profits. I hold 50%, never selling my Bitcoin. I move it into protection, which is defense. You need a defensive strategy because all cycles, every economy cycles. It's not different this time. Defense, cash value life insurance, my first defensive mechanism. Silver, copper, and I'm stacking Berkshire now. That is my defensive mechanism. So I'm pulling profits as you're trying to get rich quick coming into crypto. As there's blood in the streets and everything comes collapsing down, on the offensive side, I pull leverage, L. That's when you should leverage, not to buy a car, not to buy a credit card with your income. On the back end, after the foundation built, then I leverage to buy people's fear and blood in the streets. What does that do? It multiplies my wealth. And when that wealth profits the offense, I pay off the defense, and now I have more assets. That's a system. That's discipline. That's consistency. I finally got tired of letting another man or woman tell me when to take time off, what to do with my life. I took my crypto profits and I built businesses, I built cash flow, and then I realized that I didn't want to trade time anymore the rest of my life. So I started buying companies that pay dividends or stocks that pay dividends. I have active income and I have cash flow, which works while I sleep. No labor traded for money. I buy assets. When they profit, I protect. When everybody goes running from the markets, I borrow and I buy more assets. When the assets go up, I pay off the leverage. I multiplied my money. That's a system. That's how winning is done. So be patient, be calm, create cash flow. Cash flow will keep you from panic selling. The reason why you're market sensitive is because you haven't created cash flow. The reason why you're market sensitive is because you're believing these hype influencers that are making you think you're gonna be a multimillionaire in 3 days. You don't want that because if you don't have your shit together now and you get millions of dollars, you're gonna be really sloppy. So get your shit together now. Be patient. Watch paint dry. Build a disciplined plan and enjoy the journey. That's how winning is done. Warriors! Let's get your shit together. Love you guys.